Welcome back to Collecting Chaos and part 3 of my baby steps comic cleaning video. Today we're going to do a little erasing. If you want to watch it and see what I do and see if I mess up, stay tuned. Okay, I think I'm going to start with this one, my bigger eraser. And we're going to start with Alpha Flight because there's a lot of white on this front cover. And I'm just going to go over it real light. See if I can't get a little more of that dirt off. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend you get one. That is, if you're into cleaning comics. And even if you aren't, it's a good way to brush the dust off your table when you get ready to do other things. There's not a whole lot to talk about on this. It's just I'm going to be going over all the white parts. Real light. Matter of fact, I'm barely holding on to the eraser at all. Any pressure on the eraser is what is actually from the weight of the eraser itself. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on the front and the back cover, and I'll be back shortly to show you what it comes out like. There's still a lot of dirt on the back cover. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get much of it off. Some of it's coming off with the eraser, some of it isn't. I don't know what this is. It's some sort of stain on there. I'm going to switch to the pencil topper. To get in here in between the print lines. I'm not going to try to get between every print line, just some of them. Yeah, this is not doing too much good. The front turned out pretty decent. I didn't get the M yet in Marvel. I was waiting to use this on that. Hope you aren't getting too bored by this. Now let's go work on the back cover of this one. There's not much I can do on the front cover. I guess I could clean the white of his eyes, but yeah, I'm not going to. And in case you're wondering why I have the ruler upside down, I just want it as a barrier to make sure I don't erase any of the yellow or the black, even though I'm not pressing down hard. I don't know about you people, but I don't see any difference on that one. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot of difference. I guess it looks better. As far as these are concerned, I think I'm about as done as I can get dry cleaning them. I'm not going to wet clean them. I might, if this one was in better shape, I'd wet clean it. But the spine is so messed up, it's just not worth it. I will do a comparison. I will show you where I first showed you these and how they were dirty, and I'll flip it back and forth between this picture and that one. Yeah, I'll do that now. A Classics Illustrated, The Red Badge of Courage. This is a later printing. It says number 98, but if you look in here, it's number 152, so this is probably a third or fourth print. And it's got a little dirt on the back, and that's what we're going to worry about. We're going to concern ourselves with the back. I have an Alpha Flight number 25, and this has a lot of white on the cover, and it's dirty. You really can't see it too good. Maybe if I bring it closer, yeah, maybe you can see some of the dirt now. And on this one, see on the edge there? Yeah. There you go. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little experiment into dry cleaning. Those are the steps I take when I do a dry cleaning. I don't use this thing. This is a piece of a magic eraser. I quit using them because it's too rough, you know, and it takes off the gloss, and that's something I don't want to do. So don't forget, before you handle your comics, before you try cleaning your comics, wash your hands. It's good for the comics. Good for your health. See you next video. Bye. Let me show you something else. Show you a little bit of an advanced technique that I've been working on. I'll be right back after I gather all the materials. Alright, I'm back, and I've got a My Love comic with some ink on it. It's in really bad shape. I have a Mylar to protect the inside of the comic. An old backing board that I can use. Isopropyl alcohol. And some cotton balls. And there's one other thing that I've got. Paper towels. I'm going to need the paper towels. So we'll get a little alcohol on the cotton swab and start going over this. If you have a weak stomach, you might not want to watch this. Because I am going to drench this comic in alcohol. And then I'm going to blot it. And if you look underneath it, you can see where the ink is coming off here. This is definitely an advanced technique. I don't recommend you try this unless you have some comics that you don't care about. I'm still in the early stages of learning. I wouldn't dream of doing this to one of my good comics that have ink written on them yet. And what it said was, I'd rather go blind. I don't know why. And this can take hours. But it's not the only thing I plan on showing you. The nice part about the alcohol is it dries fairly quickly. So I can do other things. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but it has faded it a little bit. Now, we're going to take that off. We're going to turn it over. Yeah, there's a lot of... I worked on the back before experimenting, and I got a lot of this off. But you notice I'm not putting that I'm not putting the board back in there. There's a reason for that. I want to show you another trick. I'll be right back. I forgot to turn the video back on. You missed it all. I'll redo it. What I did, I have some hot water on a little sponge, and I went across it. This has just a little tiny bit of Dawn dish soap in it. This is not to take the ink off, but it will take some of the dirt off. Then I'm going to take this paper towel and stick it in there to collect some of the moisture. Microfiber cloth as a blotter, which it works really well as a blotter. Not worth a damn to take off dirt because it takes off part of the comic, but works really well as a blotter for this. This is definitely a more advanced technique. And this is what to do. This is what I would do. This is what I have done or tried to do when I can't get the dirt off of a comic any other way. Now what I'm going to do next I'm going to go get some supplies I need, and I'll be right back. Thought I'd show you what I do when I prepare a comic for pressing. Now I'm not going to put this in my humidity chamber, obviously, because it's wet. This is baking paper or oven paper, parchment paper, regular backing board, and I put that in the center. Not that this comic needs to be pressed. It doesn't really need anything. But I put that in the center. And then I take a regular piece of typing paper and put it on the inside, front or back cover. I take another one and put it on the inside of the front cover. I take another sheet of parchment paper, put it over a magazine size backing board, set the comic on top of that, put another piece of parchment paper over that, and the parchment paper is already in the press, and then a backing board on top of that. And the whole thing goes in my press at about 135 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. Then I turn the press off. And I'll leave it for a couple hours, anywhere from 2 hours to 8 hours, depending on if I put it in there before I go to sleep or not. So I'm going to go put it in the press. I'm going to take about a 15 or 20 minute break while this does it, and then I'm going to take it back out before it's ready, just so I can show you what happens to the back cover. So I will be right back. For you, I'll be back in about 2 seconds. For me, it'll be about 30 minutes. Okay, normally I would have left it in there a lot longer to cool, but the whole purpose was to show you the difference in the cleanliness between this area, and let me get it a little bit better focused for you. Yeah, see how much cleaner that is? And then if you go up to the top where I didn't wash it, you can see it's got a lot more dirt on it. So that's, if there's no other way to get dirt off, that's what I would do. I'm not a big fan of doing it that way, but you do what you got to do sometimes to get the dirt off.